Listen, before I begin this video, I'd like to apologize. I'm sick, but the raw emotion that I'm feeling right now can't be wasted. So I have to record this. And this is the only take. It's going to be the first take, the only take. So the raw emotions is coming in this. But anyways, on to the video. Last year in July, I was filming content with my boy, specifically Cop the Dage. And one of the guests came with a girl that I used to be very close to when I was 17. And very close to is an understatement. I talked to her when I was at the peak, when I was my most loving and most respectful point. I was just getting closer to God, finding out who the person who died for me is. During that time, I was so focused on my principles, my goals, and just genuinely being a great guy. In between shots, I'll just talk to her, or try to talk to her, like I naturally gravitated towards her. And yeah, we had our conversation. I wouldn't even call it a conversation. It was just me being stupid, me trying to be overly zealous or whatever. I don't even know what I was trying. But afterwards, when we got home, she messaged me on WhatsApp and she said that I had changed. Well, actually, what she actually said is, Takura, who are you? You're so different. And she said that it wasn't in a bad way, but deep down I knew that change was in a bad way. And for any other person, I wouldn't really care. I actually think every other person I wouldn't care. But because of when she actually was close to me, it hit deep. And the reason why it hit deep is because I knew she was right. Even I didn't like the person I'd become. Even I missed the old TJ.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye, chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spaz in the news Kanye.
Somewhere in those 3 years, I stopped being as loving, kind, and respectful. I became self-conceited, self-serving. I did not talk to women in the best way, to say the least. I wasn't living in a determined way that she knew. Well, to be honest, I was still determined, but chasing after validation, things that rarely stay long. And as I ran after these things, I ran away from myself. And on a drive back from my cousin's house, I switched off the music. I was driving in silence, and I asked myself, what on earth am I doing? Who am I? And I couldn't answer the question. But can you ever answer that question? Who are you? Who am I? I'm Takura Jakachira. I'm 21 years old. But who is that? A young man chasing after the answer of a question that he doesn't even know he has. And I think that's how most of us spend our lives. We are searching for an answer, but we don't even know the question that we're asking. And perhaps that's why we're really satisfied. But beyond this, I know the main issue was I had lost a huge part of the essence of who I am. That extreme optimism, the boldness, that vigor for life, it was now diluted. What some people would call delusion is what I call extreme optimism. And everything has a source. So in the moment, I knew that I had to go to the source of my spirit. And that is God. I think to find yourself, you have to seek God, because God is where you came from. And physically, in terms of like the outward world, I decided to go to where I believe I was created. And where I was created is my home gym, where I first started exercising. So, over here we're in my home gym. And I know it doesn't look like much, I just have a bench. There's a barbell like here. And you know, the things are rusty because we've had them for years. But truly, I genuinely think that this place is where I was created. The Takura jacket chair that you guys see today, it was created here. Not last year, not 2 years ago. Actually, yeah, 2 years ago. But mostly 3 years ago. It's a place where I faced a lot of my issues. A place where I really dealt with the things I was going through. I remember one of the biggest ones, like I actually don't care, I'll open up about it now. I never like talking about it, but like when I broke up with my last girlfriend, right? This was like 2 years ago. Maybe even more than 2 years ago. Like, this place was a gift from God. There were other times, there was this one time that one of my boys got with a girl I had a crush on. He didn't know that I had a crush on this girl, but he did. And I used this place to cope. It's been a place where I've coped with a lot of other issues, obviously not to deal with women. And it's fitting that I'm here because I truly feel like I'm in my prime when I'm here. I'm sure you can hear that I'm sick right now, but I truly feel that I'm in my prime. Which is funny because all the moments where I was in my prime were just periods where I was heartbroken and I was channeling all my emotions, all that energy into myself, my goals, building muscle, posting YouTube videos, whatever it may have been. That's literally what my prime was. But I feel like everyone has a place where they go to and they feel like they're in their prime. It's a place that allows them to reconnect with their best version of themselves. For some people, it's a place, like for me, the place is literally here, my own gym. I could be going to Pro Fitness, which is like the best gym in the country. It's quite expensive, but I think being here will serve me better for now. Other people, it's a person, like they talk to their best friend, they talk to their mom, their grandmother, and they feel much better. Other people, it's a sport. They play soccer again for the first time in 2 years. They play cricket, they go swimming, whatever it may be. But the point is, we all have things that serve the purpose of getting us back in touch with our true essence. And I guess this is what the gym is doing for me. So I'm about to do a pull day or push. The footage you're gonna have is gonna be from a push. I'm sorry, but yeah. As I've made this video, I realize that I haven't lost myself. I haven't lost my prime. There is no old TJ to miss. I've just been acquainted to a different side of myself. I've seen how I am in the face of disappointment, a lack of achievement, frustration, stagnation. I have seen the lows, but the lows are just as good as the highs that I've had and the highs that I'm working for. See, life comes all together. But the thing is, we just want one side of the coin. We want heads, but we don't want tails. We want the good, but we don't want the bad. We want God's yes, but we don't want God's no. See, it's all a part of life. And I'll have you know that even when you are baking the sweetest cake, you still have to add salt. So know that even if you want the best life ever, there are going to be times where you don't like your life. There are going to be times where you don't want to get out of bed. And that's okay. As King Solomon said, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So just like there's a season, there's a time for everything. You're not going to go through the same period in your life. You're not always going to be feeling like you're your best self. And that's okay. As long as you're aware of it, as long as you're not using that to justify doing bad things, and it's okay. Because there's a time for everything. How can you be in your prime if you're never in the pits? Because what makes a prime is the fact that you are better than something. So to be in your prime, you need to be better than something. And best believe you're going to have multiple primes in your life. There's going to be another time where you're high. There's going to be another time where you're balling. But there's going to be another time where you're east. Another time where you're struggling. And that's just how life is. And I guess we have to accept that and enjoy the ups and downs. Enjoy the peaks and enjoy the valleys. Because what else are you going to do? So now that I'm thinking about it, earlier, probably at the beginning of this video, I said that at 21, I feel like I'm half the man that I was when I was 17. And I actually truly felt like that while making this video. But as I've made it, I've realized that I'm more than I was at 17. Because I've seen the darker side of life, you know? The darker side of my character. Like, you know, people They'll be like, ah, you're a good person, you're a good person. I know I'm inherently not a good person. I'm not. At the time, all I really knew was good in pretty much every aspect of my life. And now I've seen the other side of the coin. So I now actually have the full coin, and now we can multiply. Now we can build some wealth from that singular 1 cent coin. But anyways, with all that being said, I don't, in fact. So with all that being said, I don't miss the old TJ. In fact, I love the current TJ. I always will.